A search helicopter is 2,000 feet above a large desert and spots a man. The angle of depression for the sighting is 65 degrees. Okay, I'm going to draw that much. So we're going to make this helicopter 2,000 feet above the desert floor here. And you measure off the horizontal, the angle of depression down to where he spots the man. Okay, and this was the helicopter. And that angle of depression is 65 degrees. So this obviously isn't drawn to scale, but this angle is 65 degrees. The helicopter continues to hover in the same spot, but the man moves forward towards the helicopter. A second sighting then has an angle of depression of 75 degrees. Okay, so the man moved closer, and now the angle of depression, which is like this, is 75 degrees. At this point, how far is the man from being directly under the helicopter? So one of the things we want to find out is this distance right here. We're going to call that D1. And then it also asks how far did he walk between sightings, and so that would be, let's put that in another color. So that would be from here to here. That would be D2. So those are the things we want to find. Okay, let's go back to the first triangle. We know this is a right triangle because we've got the distance of the helicopter, which would be straight up. And the first triangle we made would be this blue one here. Goes this way, and then all along the bottom. And we don't have an angle inside that, but we can find it. And this obviously isn't drawn to scale here. This is 65, so the difference over here would have to total 90 because you've got a right angle up here. And so if 65 is used in the angle of depression, then the rest of this angle must be 90 minus 65 or 25. Like I said, not drawn to scale, but as long as we've got them labeled, the angles and things, we're going to be good. So now let's look at this largest blue triangle, and the thing we can find, we can't find D1 and we can't find D2, but we can find this whole distance here. Let's just call that D. All right, so looking at the biggest triangle, we want a trig function that connects the angle of 25 with the side we want to know D and the side we have 2,000. And we have opposite and adjacent, so that's going to be tangent. So the tangent of 25 degrees is going to be opposite, which is D, over adjacent, which is 2,000. And so if we multiply both sides by 2,000, D is going to be 2,000 tangent 25 degrees. So now we're going to figure out what that is by grabbing the calculator. The first thing we do every time we grab the calculator is make sure we're in the right mode. So make sure your calculator is in degrees, and then just simply put in 2,000 tangent 25. And it looks like I get to, it said the nearest tenth of a foot, 932.6. So 932.6, and the units are feet. Now, I haven't answered anything they've asked yet, but I've got some good information. And now I'm going to go back to this green triangle with a second siding would be this side. And again, it would involve this first side. And now it'll be the red side would be the bottom of it. Let's find the angle inside there. The outside angle from the angle of depression was 75. So this inside angle, which is going to be right here, would be 90 minus 75. So that would be 15 degrees. So now I'm going to involve the angle 15, the side opposite it, which is D1 there in red, and the side adjacent to it, which is 2,000. So that's going to be tangent. Tangent of 15 degrees is going to equal opposite, which is D1, over adjacent, which is 2,000. I'm going to solve that for D1. D1 equals 2,000 tangent 15 degrees. And now I'm going to get an approximate for that with the calculator. So I'm still in degrees, and I put in 2000, tangent 15. And that is 535.9 to 1 decimal place. 535.9, did I say? Yep, 9 feet. Okay, so now I've actually answered the first question. At this point, how far is the man from being directly under the helicopter? And that's D1. So he's got 535.9 feet. If he kept going, he'd be directly under the helicopter. Now, the second question was, how far did he walk? So that's this little pink right here. Well, I can see that D2, the pink, is the whole distance, which we found a minute ago up there in the blue, minus the D1, the rest of the distance to the helicopter, and that would give me the distance that he walked from the first sighting to the second sighting. So I just need to do 932.6 minus 535.9. And it looks like I get 396.7. So 396.7 feet for the distance that he walked right here.